to the things that you want with your horses. Um, there's a time when you just got to kind of make the choice and bite the bullet and go do things and kind of take the risk and just see where things will take you for sure. I think a lot of times folks they get to hesitating for various reasons. They're unsure of the outcome. They're afraid of making things worse. They're, you know, not sure how things are going to turn out. So they just kind of don't move at all. Um, I kind of felt some of that tonight. I was like, you know what? It's late. uh, I've been in working all day. We had a little event last night and stuff we went to, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna kick it. It's Sunday, all the things kind of came into my mind, and I still get some of those things in me a little bit, but it's more on like a daily, day to day type thing, or maybe a week to week type thing, but not like every year thing. But I was reminded one time I heard somebody says, it's a whole year's gone by and I'm not any closer to the things I want to be doing, not any closer. And I thought to myself, man, that's tough. And, they're like, these are my dreams. These are what I want to do. They're like, I show up every day for work and I go do the work stuff for somebody else and I do their thing, right? But then I come home and I want to do my thing. And I seem like it just doesn't work. It's like I'm not making the time. And I feel like since then they have definitely changed. And they're doing more stuff for themselves, for sure. But, that when that hit me, I was just like, that's crazy. It's like you want all this, but then you let outside things in, and it's just kind of tough. So just encourage you guys, when you get that in your mind, like try to battle that a little bit, because answer me this. Put something in the chat here about like a yes or a no. Do you think there will ever be a time that you regret spending time with your horse or in the saddle? Like, say 5 years from now, you're like, man, I rode my horse way too much. I know everybody's worried about it, like knee wise on babies, but like, honestly, have you ever seen anybody ride a horse too much that has a full time job, a family, a career, hopes and dreams, but everything's going on? Have you ever seen anybody like that ride a horse too much? No, it doesn't happen. I don't feel like people just, it doesn't happen. Okay. Maybe that could be your goal this year. I'm going to ride until my horse needs a day off. Like, needs a day off. Not like I'm going to give him a day off. He needs a day off from me. Wouldn't that be a good goal? I'm going to ride until I look at my horse and be like, damn, he needs a day off. You know how much that would change if you actually got your horse to a point that he needed a day off? Do you know how much different his mannerisms would be? It'd be crazy. But you got to follow through with these things, Uh, Sometimes around different kids, and you guys have probably seen. I think I might have mentioned this on a live a couple days ago. Like kid number one, they're like, "Hey, you need to listen up. You got to stop that." Kid hesitates, doesn't listen. Parent A goes over, says, "Hey, we're not kidding here." Shuts the kid down. Like, "Hey, like knock it. We are done here. You need to quit squabbling or whatever they're into." And then the kids, you see their expression change. There's a change in the child. There's maybe a little pouting. They time the kid out for being wrong. And then 5 minutes later, the kid comes out happy, happy as a fiddle, not pushing the limit, not goofing off anymore. Learned the lesson, went on. And these are like 3-year-old kids. Okay. Kid number B, I see this just the other day. Hey, you need to like line out, knock it off. Let's get in line. Talks back. No, seriously, you need to. Talks back. Okay, I'm going to come sit next to you and help you out here. Talks back. Never changes. All this stuff. And then like it just keeps going, going, going. And then does everything for the kid. Here, read this. But then they set it up, pull the page out, fold the page, all the stuff, put the book in front of them, says, no, hold it like this, like doing everything for the child. 20 minutes later, guess what still happened? They're walking down the hallway for their appointment, and she's still on the kid, squabbling. You got to settle down, blah, blah, blah. So the shut off. The one, there was no shut off, and two, like it's been going on for like 30 minutes. So these kids are pretty smart. As a 3-year-old, who's running the show, right? The kid's running the show, right? And I think sometimes, we just get tired and different things and whatnot. And, I feel like with your horses, it's kind of the same way. Like if that's how I'm not criticizing anybody's parenting. I'm just observations, you know, um, I just observe like, oh, is that working very good for them or is that not working for them? Because there's a lot of times in my life I've looked at something and I was like, that is not for me, but then I look at it longer because I'm not just heavily opinionated. And I'm like, that actually worked really good. And then I'm like, what was that technique? Right? I'm like checking in with them and making sure, like, oh, maybe that's a good thing. Okay. So uh, just kind of think about some of these things here. And what does that apply, one, to your horses and horsemanship? And honestly, like, maybe some of us are dealing with that thing where it's like, maybe I don't want to go work with my horse as much because he's like kid number B. I've raised him to just be kind of a pouty idiot. And so when I go work him, it isn't that fun. Like I like being with him, but like he's so inconsistent and inconsiderate and not improving. And I just know it's going to be trouble that I don't want to go. Right. Sometimes that can be the case. So, hello, Tracy Storms. Howdy, Wendy's on here. Christina. Hello, crew. This is my OGs on here. Beautiful weather. Yeah. Mary, I'm regretting it now. Never mind there. Never being a day later on. I retired and I don't know. Oop. Come on. How? Shoot. I'm on a different app. I worked outside. Probably I've said it's the spring or I'm having to find beauty's new homes. It's not fair to them. Canada. Micromanagement. Thanks. Yeah, there's a few comments on here. RIP and checks. Horses A is fun. B is a pain in the ass. There it is. Oh, there you go. I see. Well, you can change the second one. It's just a baby. You should be able to influence that. Okay, so I'm gonna check out some things here with this little horse. Um, we've been working on some lefts and some rights, but we're gonna check in with that here in just a sec. But the reason I mention this, like waiting another year, is we are just a few days away. When's the 15th? Does anybody know when the 15th is? When the 15th comes, the early bird specials are done. And what's an early bird special? An early bird special is for those of you who want to come out to Horse Creek Ranch and actually commit to your horsemanship. Immerse yourselves with a group of like-minded people that finally think like you. Like how many of you put something in the chat? Put a high five or something. If you have ever found it hard to find a like-minded horse person in the horse industry, that's like, man, it's really hard to find people who think the way I do. And that's one of the probably the coolest things. Like the ranch is awesome, the weather's normally pretty good out here, the facilities are great, all the stuff's good. But if you don't have the right people, it makes things really tough. And we always get so many good people out here, like-minded. They could be totally different. English riders, Western riders, long distance, like endurance riders and jumpers and dressage riders and trail riders and all like sorts of batches. We even get husbands out here sometimes. I know that's a husband, really. A husband rider is kind of its own discipline, I feel like anymore. It's such a rare, it's like a unicorn discipline. Husband riders. I know there's a lot of men that ride horses just on average, but when it's like a husband wife thing, unless they're professionals in the industry, typically don't see the guys riding as much. Just typically. Maybe that's around here and has nothing to do with anything else. But yeah, that's just an observation. I don't know if I can on this little app here. This is not the normal Facebook app. That I can flip my camera around. I feel like, oh, back. Oh my gosh, back camera. Let's try this. Let's see what it does. Aha, there we go. I found the right button. So what we're going to do here is we're going to ride our little no-name horse around here. And what I'm going to try here, just the next level, like I pointed out a huge hole in this horse a few nights ago with the turning, okay? So first thing I'm going to do here is we're going to do a little exercise here on his attention. Let's watch his ears here. Okay, see his ears right there kind of go up. So I'm going to pick up and I'm going to pull him around a little bit. So I'm just going to pick my hand straight up, kind of towards my chest and my shoulder there. Not like crazy, but like that direction. I'm not just going to pull straight back on him. I'm going to lift up, okay, and pull around a little bit. And when I do that, he needs to give to me. All right. And then I'm going to set my hand down. Okay. So when his ear goes forward, I'm going to pick up. I'm going to pull him around. So first off, this just gets his attention here, right? So if I had chose not to come out here today, oh, it's too hot, it's too this, that, the other, then I would miss things like this. And we're gonna work on this for a second. Let me hit this button again. Uh, but what you need to do is just problem solve. Look at this. I have a hoodie on back here. Okay, it's underneath. Let's see. There's my hoodie. I've got an extra neck thing. I got lawn john. I've got an electric vest that doesn't have his battery in it. But then I got my feather vest, not just an average coat, but like a feather, like a down vest. That's lightweight, so I don't feel like I look like a plush boy, but I'm not like all weighted down. And then I have bibs on. Okay, so like that was a problem. It's too cold. Well, how do we fix that? It's too late. Put in lights. Like, well, I can't. Well, make a little more money and pay for some lights. I don't like, you know what I mean? Put a flashlight out there. Put the pickup truck right here. You all own a pickup truck, right? Yeah, I'm just saying, like, it just depends. Like, whatever the problem is, I guess my point is try to solve it if you can. Don't just, oh, I can't. It's like, well, with the resources that I have and options that I have, is there actually a fix? I bought some headlamps a couple days ago, just in case. Like, I'd like to be getting some more work done around here. So it's like, you know what? Maybe I want to work past 4 o'clock in the afternoon outside. Well, I'll get a dang headlamp or something. Okay. All right. So let me flip this thing back around now that I know how to operate it. Okay, back camera. So when his ears go forward, I'm going to pick up and pull him around. There's a lot of people, what they try to do, they try to fix the spook, right? And there's definitely, like, that's the thing, right? But what if we could get these horses to where they're dialed in before the spook? Maybe they wouldn't even notice the spook because they're just noticing you, right? They're focused on you, okay? So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to open my right leg. I haven't moved my hand, okay? And I'm just going to open my right leg and see what he does. And see, he's turning. He's turning. Okay. Now we've been working on this a couple days because I'm really just trying to train the thought here. I'm not really. I don't. The turnaround, is going to be what it's going to be someday. But if he doesn't think turn, we're never going to get this working. And there is some structure that definitely needs to happen. But if he's not looking and thinking, these things are never going to happen. Let's see. What was Wendy say? Ranger and I have no patience for the current roommate and her mare attitude. I have to hold back from having a come to Jesus. Because it's not my mare. Yeah, not much you can do there. Okay, so I'm gonna open my right leg, and he comes around. I kind of feel like this might be backwards in your guys' screen. I don't know, but we're turning right. Whether it looks left or not, we're going to the right. In my screen, it looks like we're going left. Okay. So now we're going right, and then I'm just gonna sit here, and we're gonna wait right there. See, he stutter stepped. I'm not making him turn. I'm just telling. I haven't told him to stop. See, I haven't told him to stop. Now he's doing really good there. So I am gonna just lightly bring him forward and just let him walk. Okay. But let's say he had stopped. I'd bring him forward a little bit more assertively. Pick up my hand, put my legs into him, maybe bring him up to a trot. Says, hey, you should stay in there here. So I'm going to open my leg. There he goes. He's really looking for that there. So I'm just going to stop, put my legs in on him, and then let him be. See? Yeah, see him looking. Now he's bending around. See, he's thinking there. And he's coming over here. He's like, what can I do that's good for you? He's doing a double lateral flexion there. That's kind of fun. All right. So just playing with little things with him for you guys here. But back to the thing about waiting. Um, things just like, don't get any better when you just sit around and think about them. And I know everybody's got their different things, but if you're a horse person, you've got a horse and you're wanting these things, like, figure out a way that you can make it work in your schedule and your time and your whatever you have available. It's kind of like the cold thing. So I'm like, okay, get on Amazon, buy some $30 bibs, get a neck thing, just do like for an extra, $60. I'm out here just like great, warm. Now, I could spend that on Starbucks and I'll have a couple drinks that I don't really like anyhow. Um, and still be out here cold. So I had, you know, uh, a few minutes of satisfaction every day with a coffee drink that I'd barely like, okay, at all. Or I could be like, anytime it's too cold, I can just go put my bibs on and get warm, okay? And then if I ride this horse regular enough, I'm probably going to get to the point where I'm like, hey, I like riding this guy. He always goes right when I ask him to go right. He always goes left when I ask him to go left. He's always looking for me when I pick up my hand and try to soften him. He's trying to be helpful. He's alert. He's conscientious. All these things. And like maybe I want to spend some more time with him. So I just hope that for you guys, because I see so many people in different phases of their horsemanship, and everybody's got trials and tribulations that they go through, and uh, but I just encourage people, like, if this is something you want, like, make the move, take the step, do the thing, and kind of follow through. And one thing, and I think I just posted a video today about having a good crew around you that you can ride with, and it was testimonial video that we posted, and she was talking about how she finally found her community, or the like-minded people to ride with. There's so many attributes, and then when she goes home, she's still inspired, and she has people to reach out to. That was Gianna that did that one. So, there's so many just bonuses that come from being in the right group, such as this one. It's always cool to see that, and I don't think much of it. Like, at first I don't think about those things, right? Like, they're not right in my face, but then when I hear from them or I talk to them afterwards, I'm like, oh man, that's actually pretty cool. Like, I feel that, and I've been through the same thing myself, but because I'm maybe found more people to hang out with and stuff, I don't think of it as often. But then when it's resurfaces and I'm reminded of that, I'm like, oh, that's a huge piece of this. Having the right kind of community to be with is such an important thing. So, just a little something to think about. I'll turn him around here a little bit more. I'm gonna like this little horse. He's pretty good. So, what are you guys all working on this week? What do we got here? Howdy, idiot. That will live in my head rent free. Yeah. There you go, Jamie. Yeah, make him better. Thursday. Oh, Thursday is the 15th. Okay, that's good to know. Um, Thanks for joining us, Paula. Yeah, I have had horses before I was born. Pregnant mama. I always love learning more. Cool. Well, I'm glad you're here, Paula. Thursday is the 15th. Okay, so yeah, so Thursdays when the early bird specials are over. And that doesn't mean you still can't sign up for camp. You certainly can. Thank you. Loves the hat. It just means the early bird special is over, which is the cheapest way to get in. Taco at the moment, he has a big gap. What? What? What is Taco doing getting gashes? Oh my gosh. Sorry to hear that, Tracy. Doggone it. These suckers, I tell you, always something for them to run into or whatnot. Glad you said that. It does look. Oh, left in the video. Yeah, it's backwards. They're like, Steve, why? They're like, why would I ever want to listen to this guy? He doesn't even know his own left from his right. He's been going left the whole night, and he says he's going right. Yeah, that's the thing with the cameras on it. You just never know if it's forwards, backwards. Like, yeah, you don't know. I honestly, it's probably a little bit how some folks' horsemanship is when the like from the horse's perspective is like, I don't know what we're doing. I'm gonna pick any old direction and go. Uh is this what Kara was doing with Bernice, but slow, trying one step over a time? Most likely, Marcy. That was a long time ago. But yeah, getting the thought going. Ooh, let's see. What'd she say? Valerie says, I read your book, The Untrainables. Um, I cried at the end of the book. Yeah, it's that last chapter. That's a I'd say it's a good chapter, but yeah, it'll typically set the tears off on most folks. Horses are so amazing. Arabian mare wouldn't hurt my sister with a rare skin disease. One fall for horse, she wouldn't have. Oh man, but this mare could read her rider and ran away with me lots. Till I started to figure out she taught me how to ride and hang on. I'll always have horse. Atta girl, I love that. Let's see. Oh, Lindsay, 2 hour lunch breaks during the winter so I can ride in the daylight. Nice. At least you have dry cold. Yes, Denise, there is that. It is a dry cold out here for sure. Oh, that's tough about the head thing, Tracy. Cool. Well, lots of folks are on here tonight. I don't know. I just like kind of feel like um just clicking the live button here. I don't know. Been kind of regular. We'll see if I keep it up. I don't know. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Hopefully I do. Okay, let's ride this horse a little bit more. Let me turn this around here. Okay. Back camera. You know, it's funny when I move that camera so close. That's typically the frame that Facebook chooses to put on Facebook for eternity. Just figures. All right. So for those of you just watching, we're going to the right, but I know it looks like we're going to the left on the screen. So I don't know, that's just a camera thing, I guess. So I'm gonna move him around here, get him to just think about this. So I'm gonna pick him up. I'm gonna soften him, put my legs on him. Even just this. This is such an important thing here. And he's just young. He's just learning. Uh, when I pick him up, he needs to soften. I put my legs on. He needs to pick up his back and move forward. And then there, right there. See, he needs that. Did you see? Did you hear what he did? That relaxation. How many of us have horses when we pick up and we squeeze? Then they're like, "Don't touch me," and they get pissed off. They groan, they start hyperventilating, right? So even just this moment right here is such an important one. And sometimes that might mean training this horse for like days and days and days just on that one little thing, trying to get these horses to just soften. Just a little thing. Because this is like the communication line. I'm not saying you have to have a horse that drops his head, but like when I offer some communication, is there a thought to kind of give to me, right? Or is he just gonna, like, as I pick up, like pull and root and be rude? And the answer is not in the bit. Okay, the bit is just what connects his face and his body to my hand. The bit's just it just helps connect things from there to here. Okay, the bit is not the tool. The bit is allows for the connection. You can put anything in there. You put a halter on him, you put a hacksaw on there, you did different things. But now, are there some bits that communicate a little easier? Yeah, I mean, you don't want certain bits in there, but essentially you just need something to go in there to come up to here. And if you got really good feeling timing, you don't even need a bit. You could just ride bridleless and stuff. But honestly, if you've got a spicy horse and you're not a great rider, I just wouldn't even think about that for a while until you get things lined out. Okay, so now I'm going to open my leg. I just kind of think and offer. I'm just going to look over here to my right, even though it looks like we're going left. It on my screen too, it's going left. This is a weird program. Okay, and then ride him forward here. There, and I like that. See, he's even looking over here to the right just a little bit. That's good. I like it. Okay, just a little thing. Now let's try. We're gonna go left, which for you guys is right. So I'm gonna reach my hand over here. I'm gonna open my left leg. And ooh, he's really getting into this. See how he kind of lowers it, just gets into it going this way. And then I'm gonna quit. Now, so he really thought about that left. So I'll release, but now we're gonna go back to the right. So that just tells you I've been going left more often, which is normal. I'm right-handed. I like going left more. Just the way it is. Like if I'm ever roping or something, you're not turning right after you rope something. Typically, you're going left. So I kind of everything's left oriented. So here he's not as fiery. Doesn't mean he has to go fast, but you see, I don't know if you slowed this video. The cadence of this video is just a little bit different here. Not bad. So now that he is going right for me, we'll work on balancing the cadence out over time. Okay, that's going to be one of the next goals. And even here, just having him come around here and thinking hard. He doesn't have to bend like this all the time, but like the thoughts are coming to the right. You see, that's good. He's not like coming right and then pulling his head over here and trying to walk around in the evasion. Here, I'm pulling him around to kind of make him do that, but. Just seeing that's a good exercise too, though. I'll try to do that. I'll bend them here to the right, and then I'll bend them here to the left. Oh, hard to film all this. There we go. And I'll just wait for him to soften here. So we're going right. I know it's backwards on the video. Right there, see how his head kind of pops up? I'll just wait until he softens and gives there, and then we'll go back to the right. Okay, and then we'll go here to the left. And what we were talking about the other day, we're kind of looking for trouble, looking for a tight spot, looking for a brace, you see. Just little things. Doesn't have to be much, especially in the winter here. I don't do a whole lot with these horses. I don't like to get them all hot and sweaty and weird. Okay, now I'm just going to open my leg. Ooh, ooh. And he's kind of thinking a little more and about a little bit more speed. That was really good for him. That was great. Okay, so the trick here then is that's the spot probably that we might quit him there. He kind of on his own felt like he hunted it. It wasn't the same as the left yet, but it was better than what we had going to the right. You see, that's the main thing. It's better than like because the right and left are separate, right? There's I don't know what it's called. I gotta look it up and figure these things out. But there is that little piece in the brain. Maybe there's a brain surgeon in here. There's a little piece in the brain that allows you to transfer information from one side of the brain to the other. And the horse doesn't have that in their brain. Okay. So, I mean, can they get lucky and relate some things? Yeah, sure. But they're not, if you only ever went to the left, they're not going to be great on the right. They might be okay, but they're not going to be the same. So you got to counterbalance that a little bit because they don't have that little piece in the brain that connects it. Okay. Now I'm going to open up and then. There he's trying. Good. And the person might say, well, Steve, why are you doing all this turning and stuff? They're like, I'm not a reiner. I don't want a horse to turn. Let's talk about this a little bit. I was at, long story short, I went to a jumping competition this summer. Little Charlie, it was her first horse show. It was a lead line class. A friend of ours had a jumping show that they had set up, and as one of the classes was a kids class, line deal. So we went, took Charlie there, and well, I just showed up to watch her. But anyway, after that was jumping classes, actual jumping classes. And I think in the beginning of the day, it's like the rookies, and it goes upwards to the more advanced horses or higher jumps or whatever the scenario was. So like you start out easy and then you build through the day, I guess was the layout they had. So we watched for a few rounds there, and what I noticed is these jumping horses, I don't know the math, but I'd say half of the horses, at least 40% of the horses, did hard rollbacks at the jumps. And what does that mean? Okay, so the horse comes out, he goes, he jumps, he jumps, he jumps. He looks at the bush next to the jump, or he looks at the rail. And these jumps are only like a foot and a half tall. Not even that. I mean, they're the lowest you can have and even call it a jump. Okay. I saw it felt like at least half the riders fell off on the course because the horses did a rollback. Now, their only job is to go over the sticks. Jump the stick that's in the air. That's your only job. Jump like 10 of them, and then we go out of the arena and we get to hang out and go to the stall, right? That's their job. Okay, go in, jump 10 sticks, leave the arena. That's their job. Okay. So what a lot of these horses have figured out, if I go in and I only jump like 4 sticks, I can still go out of the arena and I don't have to jump 10 sticks. Because what happens when at the horse show when they jump 4 sticks and then the rider falls off? The horse gets to stand there. The trainer comes out, pets the horse. They pet the rider that falls off, and then they all walk out of the arena together, and the horse is done. So a smart horse is like, oh, cool. I only had to jump 4 sticks instead of 10. Everybody pets me and praises me, and then I get to leave. And then I'm thinking, well, I wonder what's going on out in the warm-up pen to help remedy that situation. So I look out in the warm-up pen, they're still just petting on the horses. And I'm thinking, man, this next horse show is probably not going to be good. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, are the trainers just looking for job security and like put holes in the courage of their riders, or what's going on here? And I don't mean this in a bad way, but just talking like realistically, if like let's just say it's 40%, but 40% of the riders are falling off because their horses do a rollback. And then they get to go out to the warm up pen and just hang out. Like these horses are just like untraining themselves at the horse show. So, like in a good scenario, maybe like go out to the warm up pen, work that horse a little bit, get him jumping a little bit, come into the horse show. Okay. It's just a schooling show. Go jump 4 sticks without him getting rid of you. Get a good jump, and you know at a normal show he's gonna like buck you off anyhow. Stop, pet him for jumping, not getting rid of you, and then walk out. At least it's a different scenario. You might say, well, you didn't complete the course. I'm like, hell, you're not completing the course anyhow, but at least you're on him. Okay. Or how about just really instill in him that, hey, every time we look at a jump, we jump. Just like right here. Every time that I open my leg, you turn. Period. Okay, no other way. All right, until it works, and then things get set up differently. Okay, so my point is you got to make sure that you're setting things up for these horses properly in all the environments. So you might say, well, Steve, why are you turning this horse around? It's like, well, so I have some control of him. Okay, like if I want him to go right, and then or let's do this scenario. He wants to go left, and then I don't, and I want him to go right, and then I don't, and I want him to go left, okay, I should have some control over that, right? You might say, well, we ride jumping horses. We don't want them to turn very much. I like, well, the horses didn't get the memo. They're turning all the damn time. They're just not supposed to, and they roll back anyhow. So I'm not criticizing anybody. I'm just trying to like, why would you teach these horses to turn around? It's like, well, you might need it for a anti-turnaround, right? If the horse is like, I want to turn and you don't want him to, if you had a little more control of them or more focus there, uh, you'd be able to like defend yourself in that moment a little better. Or hey, maybe he knows that he should only turn when asked, so he just stays straight, jumps the foot and half stick. Okay, and if he's a 16-hand horse, jumping over a 1.5 foot stick, it's like it's not even a jump. It's like it should be easy for him. Hell, the ponies will jump over that thing to the moon. Have you ever seen some of those ponies jump? The jump could be as tall as their pony's back, and he still jumps over that thing. But anyway, we're getting off subject here. My point is, you just might never know when you need your horse to be trained, whether you're a jumper or endurance rider or a reiner or whatever the deal is, right? You just never know. So why would you teach these horses these things? Because you might need it someday. You just never know you might need it. Like one of the things that kind of drives me crazy is some trail riders. Like who here's ever been around a trail rider that's like, well, I don't need to go to a clinic. I don't need to do training. I don't need to do any of that stuff. I am just a trail rider. It's like, you know how hard trail riding can be in the right environment? Like, we've got a place across the street here that I have yet to take even my crew on, but it's like if a normal trail ride's hill is like that, this one is like this, okay? And then off to one side is like a 200-foot drop off into rocks and a lake. And then the path is probably only like 20 feet wide or whatever. Like it's kind of sketchy. Like there's plenty of room, but like 20-foot wide next to a 200-foot drop off actually isn't that wide. Like if a horse jumps over there, they'll get over there pretty quick. And then there's parts where you got to get off your horse and climb up there, and like he's got to scale some rock a little bit, and like you could ride him up, but it's probably easier to just get off. Like it's kind of sketch. And anyway, there's just a lot of different things, and there's a lot of choices and decisions for horses to make up there in certain environments. And I'm thinking, man, I want a really trained horse on a trail ride, like an open, like a level 4 open reiner type trained, but like like really trained, but also has his mindset available to me, right? Not just physical training, but uh mental and emotional training where you can kind of handle these things for sure. So anyway, just a little point there, because there's all sorts of people out there in the horse industry, and uh I feel like sometimes the trail riders, honestly, are on average are a little less prepared than some of them. But in my mind, that they should be more prepared than a lot of them. They probably need to have a horse that jumps sticks. You know, you're up in the woods and trees down or something, unless you want to ride, a whole mile around or something. Be able to just get up and go over that. It reminds me, I have a client that's she's been with us for well over 20 years. And she's just telling me a story one time. They're out on this ride in the national forest down, I think, in Oregon. And her friends that she rides with, they're a part of this organization down there. And they're like, why do you always go to those clinics? Don't you know everything yet? Like, what are you doing? Like, why do you need to be going to these clinics all the time? She's like, I learn stuff all the time. Every once in a while, like there's new stuff coming, and there's different environments. And Steve's like, it's really unique every time. You just don't understand. Like, this is an evolution, it's a journey. And they're like, well, we've been riding our whole life. We don't need this stuff. We're trail riders. Like, okay. So they get up there to this spot, and there's this down tree, and it's probably a 2.5 foot jump, which at 2.5, somewhere in there, at about 2.5 feet, would you say that most people and most horses, that's like on the border of where it's like, maybe I shouldn't jump it. Okay. So they're like, well, we'll get off and lead the horses over. Well, it was too high for that too. So what did she do? Because she's been practicing all her groundwork and sending her horse over barrels and different things. She just hops off, sends her horse over the log, and gets back on. She's ready to go. Guess what? None of these other people could do. They couldn't send their horse over the jump. They couldn't even send them. Not for, they couldn't lead them. They couldn't nothing. And I think she might have said at the time, but maybe she just threw it in the story. She's like, "This is why I go to the clinics. This is why I go to the clinics, right here. So I have a horse that listens to me when I need him to listen, because listening is a habit. We have a partnership. We have a relationship. We are connected. This is just something that works for us, right? So what happened to the rest of those folks? They had to go like an entire mile up the mountain and around. It's just the way it was set up. The tree was down, and then there's no other way to get around unless they went way up the mountain and around. So the time they spent hiking those horses up and around that mountain, they could have worked on that in a lesson at home, honestly, teaching those horses to send properly. And they weren't bad horses by any means. They just didn't have a skill set on them because nobody had taught them little things like, hey, when I ask you to like go left, like go left. When I ask you to jump, jump. All right, don't not jump. I didn't ask you to act. I didn't accidentally ask you to jump the log. Okay, we're in the middle of the wilderness. We don't want to have to march our ass up the mountain and back down and around. We got stuff to do here. Jump the jump when I ask you to jump. And if I didn't think you could jump it, I wouldn't be asking you to jump it. It's that simple. I think you can. I believe in you. Let's go. And the horse like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. They can't. What this gal's horse says, I believe in you. Jumps over like, oh, that's easy. We do stuff like that from time to time. So anyway, all this stuff starts to connect. My point is this: we're an all breed, all discipline, all everything type of program here. We'll take quarter horses and Arabs and halflingers and Tennessee walkers. It doesn't matter. Whatever you can get in a trailer, we'll take it. And you guys come and ride with me. And it's just a good time. And what I like about that, I ride with some different folks during the year. And sometimes when I go into their barn, at first I'm like, ooh, this is so cool. And then after a while, I'm like, wait a minute, where's the halflingers? And where's the draft horse? And like the different breeds, because they're whatever they're working on specifically, there's like a definite type of an animal that they need to be working for that. Like if you're showing gated horses, you're probably not riding a quarter horse. If you're showing, reiners, you're probably not riding a thoroughbred. If you're, you know, riding a jumping, doing the jumping, whether it's a hunter or doing some eventing or whatever, you're probably riding like some sort of a warm blood or long legged cross, right? You're not on probably certain, you know what I mean? There is some mixes for sure in the jumping, but primarily you're on a longer, taller type of faster horse. So you're not on a little potato typically. So I'm thinking about this like, man, they don't get the variety that I get to have. Like it's so cool. Like, sure, yeah, that one horse, he's not gonna make a rainer or whatever, but he's got a cool personality and he's kind of got some neat stuff going. And so I like that about my job. I get to see uh, so many different breeds and disciplines and things like that going. So all right. Well, I've been on here a while. Who knows how long I've been going on? My crew's waiting on. We got a little project tonight. We got going here real quick, just testing some stuff out. So we're gonna go do that. But I do want to make sure that you guys know Thursday is the last day for the early bird specials, January 15th. If you guys want to come out to Horse Creek Ranch, the School of Horse, that is the best opportunity to get the cheapest funds available, cheapest rates. When people come in here and you get the early bird special, you don't have to pay for the stalls. You don't have to pay for your parking. You don't have to pay even for your dang cabin if the cabins are available. Some of the camps are already full. Lots of people are already taking advantage of this. Like tons of people are already in on this. There is room in some of the camps still, but there are some that are full. So keep that in mind when you guys are getting in here. This is just become a super, super popular program for a lot of people. Uh, over the we've been here doing this for 18 years, but the last 5, 6 years, things have really taken off around here. We're drawing in the right kind of people and getting the cool things going around here. So, encourage you guys, if you're thinking about it, think about it a little harder till Thursday, and then we'll move forward from there. So, I appreciate you guys. Let's see, are you coming back to Liberty Festival? If I get an invite, I'd definitely love to go. Uh, Even at Palomino, you can't ride color. Yeah, I tell my horses I don't make. There we go. All right, I didn't catch up on all these comments, but I appreciate you guys commenting. Whack some likes in here, some comments if you enjoyed it. If you're catching a replay, thank you guys very much for watching. And if I get a wild hair, maybe I'll get on here another time and keep this ball rolling with you guys. So appreciate all of you. And you guys have a good evening. And, hey, fight the urge. If you're cold and you don't want to, just remember, you're never going to regret the time that you spend with your horses. All right. You guys have a good night.